and welcome to Contemporary Art Podcast with me, Elisa Fevral, and
Cecilia Clamart.
Yes,
I'm back.
We are, as you can see by this, I mean, if you're listening, you can't really tell, but if you are watching, you can tell that we have Sakura Cardcaptor
Deck.
Yeah, on our desk. We're talking about Sakura today. All things Sakura, but mostly focusing on the original anime.
Yes.
Not really like delving like too deep into other stuff, but just for comparison, sometimes we will be bringing up a bit of manga or something like that, like to compare.
Yeah,
things.
the versions in different countries as well, because there's pretty interesting stuff to discuss about. Yeah.
I'm gonna play a jingle.
Yeah.
The TV jingle.
Okay.
Will I be nervous if I'm chosen to be on the show? No. Why should I be? I am extremely comfortable being on national television.
This is a TV show jingle, and it features Heather from Total Drama.
Oh, and I recognized the voice. I was wondering.
It's when she's like sending in her tape,
Yeah.
and she's like, I won't be nervous on national television. What should we start with? Most people who would be watching would know about it, but technically speaking, even if you haven't watched it, I think it could still be interesting for you to participate in the conversation, mostly because we're going to be talking about things that are not heavily reliant on like knowing the specifics of the plot, because we will be bringing up things and explaining them kind of casually, I guess. And maybe we can start with how we even found out about the show. Like, you were watching it when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I watched it. I read the mangas, but everything in French. So I was introduced to the French version of it, reading and watching. And then am I the one who... And then some of you subscribers were telling you to watch it when you were doing that.
Yes, I think they were talking about it since I styled... Oh my god, like probably since I styled Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Like for a long time people were telling me to watch it and stuff, and I kind of was planning on it, but then Cecilia told me that she really likes this show, and like she was like, oh, you should watch it. And then I think you actually started watching it with me. We probably watched a couple of episodes together, and I kind of got into it because it's quite wholesome. And
just like magical girl
stuff, and obviously like I love that kind of shit, like
cozy shows.
My entire brand is just magical girl shows from like all over the world, not specifically Japanese ones, but I really liked it. And I think also any show, any anime or any other show that features a lot of desserts is always gonna have my heart. This is just how it is.
Which is why I insisted Lisa watched it.
Yeah. And this was a birthday gift, I think.
For me.
Or maybe
birthday
it was
or Christmas, yeah.
It was one of
like,
those.
After I made you watch it and you liked it, you're like, hee.
Yeah. I had to like look for a proper one, but I don't even know if it's still a proper one. Like they are so hard to find.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty cool. Like the cards, they look pretty legit. Oh my god, our little cards.
I wish there were like I wish there were low-key tarot cards.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they also like added that on top of it and you could do
so
like predictions with it? That would be really funny. Or fun, I guess. Not funny.
But yeah, there's like
oh, that's what it is. Yes, I remember.
There is a card game, but I don't know, sadly, how to... So pretty. There you go.
I know, right? And like it's so pink and everything, and it's so weird because in the American version apparently they like made Sakura kind of like act like not like other girls.
Well, they changed, first of all, in the American animated version, they changed the name to Cardcaptors.
Yes, because it was too much to have a girl.
They said they wanted to include boys more, like to make them watch. And then they changed the orders of some of the episodes so we could see the other
Shaoran do show up immediately.
Exactly.
The first episode is his introduction.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It's crazy.
I just find it wild.
Like, why? I don't know. I think that it's so strange that throughout all of these shows that became so massive, there is this thread of the executives not allowing shows being targeted at girls, which is so strange because popular culture is driven by girls. Like the people who rake in the most money right now are boy bands.
Yeah.
And like, why wouldn't you entirely try to like target the female demographic? It's so lucrative.
Yeah. And
it's lucrative for ages. And also, like, even if people just watch it and they don't buy as much stuff, for example, right? Like, let's assume that. You're still making a lot of money. What is the difference between this and, like, Game of Thrones or something like that? In the sense of, like, most people just watch it. And then there's a select few who would buy all the merchandise you release and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I
even
feel like
back then, because it was released in the mid-90s, I believe.
96 or something like that.
Yeah.
97 maybe.
Yeah, that's what I read. Yeah. And like, even back then, like, girls were the main, I don't know.
It's just weird because with cartoons it's a constant thing. Like, they keep on saying the same thing over and over and over again, basically. Cecilia is adding like chili flakes. Is it chili flakes?
Tahini. It's
tahini?
like lime and chilies.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever have fruits, this is a game changer. I would like to thank my Mexican friends for introducing me to that.
Especially like mangoes, I guess, and
so good. Like mango,
pineapples.
Pineapple, mangoes. I like on watermelon when it's in season.
I hate watermelons. I don't even.
She doesn't like pineapple. She doesn't like watermelon. What is with this child?
I'm sorry. It just, I don't know. Something about them always bothered me. I don't know why. Good. I don't know.
I'm sorry about the mouth.
About the mouth. Sorry
Chewing.
about the mouth. I
Chewy
think,
sounds.
You know, it's gonna be funny to like watch it later, and I'm like drinking coffee, and I think that I'm being quite discreet, but then like in post, sometimes you hear yourself gulping, and you're like, "Fucking hell, Lisa!" Like, I thought I was being so discreet. I thought I was doing so well.
I know.
And
like,
like,
we need to take breaks for like drink.
But also, you know, at this point, just gulp all you want, because I'm trying so hard. I'm ruining the experience for myself. I basically cannot even taste the coffee because I'm trying to like
I know.
Consume it in a way that doesn't make any sound. Too much. But yeah, it's so strange that they like kept on doing this type of crap.
Just that everyone went along with it.
Yeah. And the thing is, even if you have like most cartoon, wow.
Where did that come from? Nice Russian accent. We make fun of each other's accents all the time. Please don't be.
Yeah.
Offended. This is what we do.
No. Because like,
I'm sorry.
Most cartoons are already targeted at boys anyway, on that channel at least. Yeah. Like the one that was translating, I believe that it was maybe either Nickelodeon or 4Kids. It was one of those that translated it in America. Yeah. And it's so weird because
they even changed the British version for America because I think there's 2 different versions in English.
Yeah, usually there's sometimes they like the one that kind of goes is shown in Canada and UK, and then there's one that's usually like in America, for example. I don't know, it's fucking weird though. Like the entire thing is just based on nothing. And it's not like the show is so shout on based that it would be it would make sense. It doesn't make sense because sometimes he goes back to China and you don't see him, right? Yeah. Like, isn't
like,
that
it's
strange?
Really, they just put so much effort in post-production to redo and try and have the thing make sense when he's not around, or like, they put so much effort and work into changing the show basically just because they wanted to have a male character be the main.
I don't know, it's also because like out of how many cards are there? 50? I think it's like 50 something, but Xiaoran only gets 9. He only catches 9. Even though all 9 are pretty good ones, still he only catches 9.
Yeah, because he's not the main.
Strange.
And then guess what? The cards becomes Sakura cards.
Yeah, of course. But it's so strange because it's like, What's the point?
53.
53. I don't know. It's just like a very weird approach, I guess, in my opinion, because there definitely is a demographic for a show like this. But there is one thing that I'm happy about in terms of the American adaptation.
The age gaps. I know. I was ready for this one. Well, we're both gonna go off because this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. It's not even like Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was already bad because there's already, I mean, there are some relationships that are already like fucked up. Obviously, like the ones that are not the main ones. But
let's start with the first. So Sakura's dad
and her mom.
Yeah,
oh
her
my
mom.
God.
So if you look at how old she was
27. I calculated because I was so anal about it.
She got Toya, Sakura's older brother, when she was 16 or 17.
Yes. I think that so Nadeshiko died at 27. So Toya was 10.
Yeah.
So that means that she gave
17.
birth to him when she was 17. That means she got pregnant when she was 16.
Yeah.
Got married with this guy at 16
or
before then.
Who he was
her teacher.
He was 25, she was 16, 17.
I think she was 16 and he was 25. That's my calculation.
Yeah, so that's the first thing.
Yeah, like Nadeshiko would have been 34 at the start of the series, and Fujitaka is 43 at the start of the series.
So that's to just casually put that, in there, like, nothing happened. Just, my mom and my dad.
They always make this whole fuss about them being like so in love and them going against everyone.
And like he was so in love with her, he's still heartbroken, blah 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 blah.
And her
like
dad,
it's all like they make it so wholesome and like there's no issue with any of that.
Was it her dad or her grandfather, like Nadeshiko's grandfather or dad, that Sakura met later?
I believe it's the granddad, like her dad.
Her dad, I think. The dad of Nadeshiko. But So I think that they also didn't really talk, right? Because he took her away and stuff like that. And that's like, don't they, it's so weird because I also read some, when I was preparing, because I was going to make a video about this a while ago, I was reading like Clamp interviews about this. And like, they genuinely don't see it as a problem.
No.
Like, they don't acknowledge it. And the thing is, like, I feel like they probably had some experiences in their personal life. That's where they kind of, not themselves, maybe they witnessed it. That's why they kind of have this whole story of someone who is, like, a sister figure who's mad at the husband.
Yeah.
Someone who is a father of her who's mad at the husband and have cut off their family member because of this whole situation. Because I think that they're pulling it from real life, and it makes sense, because what kind of family would allow a grown-ass man who's her teacher to marry her at whatever age she was, like it was before
under
16.
age 1000%, no matter what age it is.
And even if it's not considered to be underage in whatever prefecture they were living in,
they won't allow
it's not about
people
law.
to buy cigarettes before 20, but this is okay.
Yeah, Japan has really funky laws and funky... Well,
they're
it's
so
a patriarchal
for things,
society.
and then,
they're not really advanced for many things, they're just normal.
But there's a couple of things, like, technology and stuff, they're super, like, advanced. And too many things they are not advanced with. It's
a society that's definitely based to cater to men, but basically like the way that they treat it as like, I don't know, they position it as like this was destiny,
you're gonna hear Hopan.
You're gonna hear Hopan. That's okay, I think dog sounds are cute.
They are. This is ASMR for you.
I feel like that they're like positioned as like destiny, not as something that this grown man.
Yeah, they say, I think they said some.
She's literally licking her hand. Take the hand away from her. She's not gonna stop. She's not gonna stop.
No. Yeah, they were saying like it was just destiny, and no matter if when she was older, they would have still met. So the timing was just meant to be or whatever. Like he wouldn't, no matter how old she was, like they would have found each other because they were meant to be together. So that's why they're not shocked about it.
That's the thing that's kind of like so fucked up, is that like It's such a classic line
It's just like so
of like groomers.
Yeah, and like helpless romantic, like romanticize things in the name of love because this is basically an excuse for everything because it's romance and it's destiny and it's passion, and so it's just the way it is,
And when you think about
shouldn't question it.
Yeah, when you think about it, I just feel so bad because she was like a literal child, and she had a child while being a child.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
And we can't even know because she passed away, like how would it be?
Oh, they would have portrayed her to be madly in love and happy.
Yeah, still.
Like Clamp are not getting the picture.
No.
They're not understanding it. You can hear her sniffing. They're just like not getting the memo at all. No. Like when I was reading out some of the like interview responses, they were seriously being like, oh, like we think that whatever. Basically, they were talking about like acceptance and how they created Sakura to be like a very accepting person. And
so
then,
talking about acceptance though, like the whole LGBT.
But that's the thing. I'm actually kind of like very torn about this because the issue is. First of all, I'm really happy about the way that the LGBT...
Considering it's 1996.
Of course. But also even for right now, they are treated pretty well. It's not a big deal.
Nowadays, I think there's a lot more shows for young girls that need, something to refer to and just make them feel like it's normal. There's a lot more, like, nicer shows that have been produced about that. But considering back then in the 90s, like, I don't think very many girls had... a show they could relate to.
Like that's the thing is, if there weren't any inappropriate age relationships in the show, I personally think that this portrayal is even better than some other portrayals because they don't really show people kissing in the show.
No.
It's not a thing because it's targeted at very young children, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be showing anybody kissing. It's like it's nice for children not to be exposed to like a bunch of this crap right away.
And I like the fact that they never question because both Sakura and Shaolan have a crush on what's his name? Toya?
No, Toya, that's the brother.
Damn it. What's his name?
We all know who we're talking about. Toya's friend. Toya's boyfriend.
Yeah, clearly boyfriend.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Listen, like, I personally think that they portray LGBTQ community really well. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that they portray it. And I don't mean it like as a 1996 based on that or whatever. I just really don't like in the bigger scale when we look at the entirety of the show and why these characters even got to exist. Clamp created them with the same kind of mentality as like a 16-year-old marrying a 25-year-old is okay, the same way as it is okay for two men to be in a relationship. So they equate, they put it in the same category, like they put it, it's acceptance, but they put pedophilia in the acceptance too. And that's already, it's so harmful for the LGBTQ community because it's already a thing that's being used against them all the time by Christians because they equate the two, but they are not the same.
Yukito,
yeah.
Sorry, I just had to. But yeah, no, I agree on that for sure because it's not the only one actually. One of her friends.
Oh, not the only one. There's like at least 4.
What is
There's
her,
4.
But like the friend, so her high school friends.
I
think technically
I wrote it down because I'm very anal about this one.
I don't know in
Rika
is, I don't know if it's only is it in the manga, the book, or is it also in the anime?
It is in the anime, but it is toned down in the anime that is like the original. The way that they show it is like her kind of infatuation with him.
Yeah, she has a crush, but in the book, she actually gets engaged with him.
Secretly,
but like there's literally like a little thing where she's like, oh my god, I do.
Yeah. No, he tells her, like, can you like keep this, take care of it, like take good care of it because in the future I'm gonna replace it with like a marriage.
But
ring.
like, technically they're like, how old are they in the show? They're like
Let me tell you about that. So they are at the beginning of the show, which is the time when we're...
Yeah, because her brother is in high school, right?
Yes. So they are 10 years old.
Yeah, so...
So he is... his name is Terada Yoshiyuki. He is... At the time, it's presumed that he is either 29 or 31.
Ew. She's a child.
Even if he was 18, that would be so fucked up. Even if he was 15, it would be fucked up. She's 10. She's 10. She's literally 10.
See, like, once again, just no age. Like...
This is straight up pedophilia. Straight up.
Ugh.
It's not even just the law or whatever. Yeah. She doesn't even look like what she's gonna look like. Because, 18-year-olds, for example, it's still fucked up to date an 18-year-old when you're 30. Yeah. Because, like, that's a child still. Yeah. And there's, like, a big difference between your, like, lifestyles and stuff like that. And still, even if she was 18, it would be still weird if he were to do something like that, for example, right? Mm. But in this case, it's straight up pedophilia. Yeah. Straight up. There's no way around it. I don't think that there's like a way to explain it away in any type of way. And in the anime, thank God they fucking cut that. And they made it kind of like a little bit less of a thing, but it's still a thing. Mm-hmm. I think that she prepared something for him or something like that, like some food.
Probably like chocolates when, they have like these holiday seasons and stuff, and she probably,
But something
like
else,
that.
like something, like he was definitely... Like, because the thing is, so Yukito, the entire show, like, some people bring up him, and Sakura and Shaoran is, like, the example of another thing where people are kind of pissed about it or whatever, and I'm like, no. Because kids can have crushes on adults. Adults cannot reciprocate it, that's the thing.
And he's a high school student, like...
It's still, I mean, he's 17.
When you have an older brother who has friends and, like, you see them, like, I think it's... In my head, the way I'm trying to see it, not to be angry about everything, it's like you're discovering, feelings and stuff, and then you have your brother and their friends, and they're older, and it's like admiration or something like that.
Dude, you can have a crush on a 40-year-old if you want to when you're 10.
Like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Because they are adults, and we are conditioned as kids when we watch shows, movies, and stuff like that. We see adults participating in the romantic thing. So whenever we have romantic feelings, it's quite normal to have them for people who are older.
What is the age difference between Sakura and her brother?
7 years. He's 17. Yeah. I don't think that it matters how old he is. Yeah. This is a relationship that he never reciprocates it.
No, because he treats her as a younger sister.
That's the point.
And same with Shaoran.
There's a big difference. Like, I was in school, and like if we had like a cute substitute teacher or something like that, and I like thought that they were cute or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that's
what?
It. Yeah.
So what? It's not problematic because it's not like I think that they should be paying attention to me or whatever. Even if anyone it's a child, they can have whatever feelings they want to have about whomever, and it's your job not to be reacting to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is what I appreciate about Yukito, is like he never ever...
He's just a normal dude.
Also, he has a crush on her brother, by the way.
Yeah, he sees it, and he just
acts like an older sibling.
Treats them with, like, kindness.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, they have a crush. Like...
It is what it is, yeah.
The whole thing is that you understand that they also conflate admiration with love. They conflate friendship with love. They're children. They're experiencing emotions for the first time.
And as an adult, this is your job to, make sure they understand the difference. And you don't
even have to make sure that they understand the difference. You just ignore it. They will figure it out on their own.
Well...
Just ignore it.
Because you're never given,
Yeah, you don't have to sit down and explain to them, like, I'm an adult.
Not necessarily in that way, but, like, whatever, is the most obvious or comfortable for you, as long as you're not participating in that and boundaries. I think, So, thank God at least one of the adults.
But that's why I don't understand when people are like bringing it up. I saw a couple of videos recently about Sakura, and people were talking about it, and they were like, oh yeah, like I also don't like this, and I'm like, that's so different than this teacher literally proposing to a child and her accepting it, and them like, it's so different. And it's also different than Nadeshiko and whatever the fuck the name, Fujitaka, getting married when she's 16 and stuff like that. If she wasn't their mother and she was just a student and she had a crush on a 25-year-old teacher, obviously you would have a crush on a 25-year-old teacher who's hot. Like, how wouldn't you at the age of 16? It doesn't make it problematic that the child has a crush on someone who's an adult. It's problematic when it's the other way around.
No, it's
because you are
totally agree on that.
You are at an age when you are seen as attractive in media everywhere and stuff like that, you know? And it's normal for children to look up to you and conflate also admiration and...
because they don't know how to express their feelings. They just feel all these things and they don't have the maturity to know what it's about.
That's why I really like the way that they went about the whole thing with Yukito.
Thank God,
Because... not only, the thing is, it's not only the fact that nothing happened or whatever, because someone was saying, oh, like, will they, won't they situation with them. I never thought of will they, won't they, not because like, oh, I didn't think because it's a child, because it's an anime. Sometimes you just have to prepare yourself that something fucked up can happen. But I think it was more about... just the fact that Yukito never reciprocated it. He was always just kind, just nice, and you could see that he never thought a thing.
No, never. And never made them even, like, hope for anything.
He was more of an older brother to them both than Toya was.
Yeah, little brat.
But yeah, and I really like the way that they treated it, because I think it was a very interesting way to explain it with, like, magic, that they were, like, attracted to him.
Yeah.
But also to... kind of show that she has feelings towards him that are more like towards someone who takes care of her, like a guardian, rather than someone who she's actually in love with.
Ends up being.
Yeah, and her kind of like learning how to differentiate those different feelings. I think it's a very good way to show children that sometimes your feelings can be like mixed.
Yeah.
And you have to figure them out. Yeah. And like, she never actually had a crush on him as much as she just loved him as a person, and she confused it. Like just having fondness for someone can also feel like romantic love, especially in a society that's so heteronormative, to the point where whenever you have any feelings that are positive towards a person who's of the opposite gender, you're supposed to like immediately jump to the conclusion that you're in love, rather than the fact that you just have feelings of fondness because they're your friend. Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's different way of liking people,
And also the way that they handle the feelings that they're like, Xiaoran's feelings and stuff like that was also interesting, because...
They never questioned him having a crush, like, no one even, like,
no one
the
brings
fact
it up.
that he had a crush on, they just become
like,
rivals
they bring it up in terms
about
of, like,
it, which is kind of, like, really funny, because they just end up falling in love for each other eventually.
God, I love Xiaoran so much.
He's my boy. He's so cute.
Like if I were her age, I would have completely fallen in love too.
1000%.
Like,
same.
he's just something, like, he's so sweet, and I absolutely love that he gets embarrassed by everything. It's so little, cute.
Like, rosy cheeks all the time.
I love that he's like, I really don't find it attractive when people are kind of arrogant about, especially men, when they're arrogant about feelings or about anything. Like,
they're like, oh no, we shouldn't.
Honestly, anything.
We shouldn't cry. This is not manly.
Or not just that, but like if he has some kind of feelings or like a crush or something like that, like, he's kind of like overwhelmed a little bit by it and stuff like that, and it's cute, instead of being like, well, of course you would be interested or whatever, you know. Like, he's not no, he gets shy about it. And he's also really like sincere, I feel like, and and he always tries so hard, such a hard worker.
I know, it's such a sweet boy.
I know, it's so cute.
And then you have his crazy cousin.
Listen,
listen, Linda.
I don't remember exactly like whether they're actually related or not, because I don't know in the manga, in the anime, the way that they're introduced, it's really weird because she keeps on calling him cousin at the same time.
She said they're gonna be married.
Betrothed.
Yeah.
Like they were like like engaged basically by their like families or something like that. But at the same time, their houses were just next to each other. So it feels like they were just neighbors, but they grew up together. So it's like, I honestly...
But I think, don't they like go to... It's the grandparents' house, right? Where when they come to Japan, they live in the same house, don't they?
He lives with a butler.
I'm so confused by like anime and then the manga and then the different versions of animes.
What's her name?
Remember. Is it like, I think it's like Maylene or something.
Oh, like yes.
Because they have the same last name.
Okay, so we don't have to compare it to anything because she doesn't exist in the manga.
Oh, yeah, because it's Shaoran Lee and it's Maylene Lee. I mean, it's probably a very common...
Come on now.
Well, yeah, but still, like, would you want to, like, even if it's very common, like, would you still want to go with someone that has the same last name of yours, even though you're not officially
in China
related?
or Korea, they have way too many... Like, for example, I at least know 3 people, and I don't know that many Korean people. Out of them, at least 3 of them, their last name is Kim. They're not related to each other.
I know. If you know, please let us know. She's the first cousin of... That's what
They say that, but then it's not actually... Like, I remember I was trying to figure that out because people say she's a cousin. But then in one of the scenes where they were kids, it was like the way that they were talking about something, it seemed like the grandfather wasn't actually her grandfather.
I think, like, they say her aunt is Shaolan's mom. I think it depends on the version, but I think they see her as Shaolan's cousin.
So someone says, as for Maydin and Shaoran, this is that mistranslation thing. The Lee family is pretty huge, and cousin can literally just mean she's a member of the family. I've always seen it as they are separated by several degrees. Well, still, let's just assume that they are cousins or whatever, but basically, because the thing is, if it would have happened once, I would have said maybe they don't mean actual cousins, or they're really far apart. They move to the point that they're like 7 degrees apart or something like that, which still would be a little bit funky, but you know. In this case, we have Tomoyo with Sakura, and they turn out to be cousins.
Yeah, as well.
And Tomoyo is like in love with her, so fucking weird.
Yeah. She never, but like she briefly mentions it when she says like Sakura. I think Sakura must say something like, "Oh, I love you," or like I really adore you or whatever. And then Tomoyo is like, "Yeah, we don't share the same love though."
Yeah. We have a different type of love. Like I think you have a different type of love for me than I do for you. And
she's like obsessed.
Yeah, a little bit, but also. Yeah, I mean...
It's never awkward, but, she like... Oh, she's always there. She's always around. She does everything.
But that's the thing. The same thing happened with Nadeshiko and her mother.
Yeah.
And they're also cousins.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. This is...
So you do understand what I mean, right? Like, it's not... If it would have happened once, I would have said, okay, maybe they don't mean what we think it says, right? But in this case, nah. Like, at this point, they just don't give a fuck that it's incest.
Yeah.
They just don't give a flying fuck. But that's what I don't like, see? Is that out of those weird relationships, 2 of them are gay.
Yeah.
And they keep on conflating something that's actually taboo with something that is not... Like, I mean, it was taboo for some people or is taboo for some people. But I personally think that, logically speaking, even if you don't like or support LGBTQ people, it's still not equal, just logically speaking, because it's 2 consenting adults that are not related.
Yeah.
In here, they keep on like mushing something that's actually fucked up, like taboo, like interfamilial relationships and LGBT stuff. And then they go, they're equal. It's all about acceptance. And it's the same thing with like conflating big age gaps and philia with it too.
Yeah.
They keep on doing it. Dude, they keep on doing it. It's fucked up. Like, that's why I don't like that. I really love the way that they approach LGBTQ stuff, but then this is too enmeshed with it that you cannot separate it. Like, if you, I don't know, man, it's just like fucked up. And also like I think that American version like censored a lot of the stuff.
Yes, I believe they did.
But they don't like censor, for example, the fact that Nadeshiko and her, like their dad were together, right? So they are still like, I guess pedophilia is less offensive to them than gay relationships.
I know, that's the shocking part, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is a literal, like morally corrupt and fucked up, and it's illegal. Which legality, like, does not dictate morality, in my opinion. Because, you know, legal systems are weird sometimes.
Yeah.
There's always someone in my fucking comments whenever I talk about anything related to like mangas or anime or whatever. Someone comes and they're like, Lisa, actually, in Japan, the age of consent is 13. I don't give a fuck. They can make age of consent 9, 5, whatever the fuck age they want. I still won't respect it.
No.
Because it's not like legal things, legal systems mean nothing when they go against.
And this is why they
things.
get updated regularly, you know? There's a reason.
At least there should.
Yeah. I mean, it happened in the past that they've
I mean, they are updated and sometimes we go backwards.
Yeah, that's also scary.
We've already done that this year. Oh, and also another one.
Yeah.
I was, when I was preparing for the video a long time ago, I was trying to calculate the age difference, but I was like, I kind of got it, but I wasn't like entirely sure. In any case, Toya and the teacher, who is the replacement teacher for Sakura, who's like some kind of weird guardian or whatever, or not guardian, I don't know. She's someone to the
the
Clow
lady, yes,
person,
whatever
the fuck is his name, Clow something.
Claw, Chloe.
Because she, according to my calculations, all right, I'm not entirely sure about everything, but I think she was like 23 or 22 when Toya was 15.
Imagine it's my landlord.
I'll just pretend like I'm barking. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Lisa, stop barking. I've told you before.
I've got a baby in my arms.
A furry baby.
A furry baby.
Kao Mizuki. Just said February 11th.
Fuck. She has the same birthday as me.
Oh yeah. Approximately early to mid-20s.
See, that's what... Okay, but I told you, I calculated it's 22.
Yeah.
22 and 23. You guys, I'm great at this. When she shows up, she's probably 25.
Yeah.
So when they had a relationship, she was 22 or 23.
He was in 8th grade.
And he was 15. That was my calculation.
And
they dated for a year.
Yeah.
Like full-on relationship. They showed them like hugging, kissing shit like that.
Yeah.
With a 15-year-old. And she was 22 or 23. It's like so close to my age. I cannot imagine dating somebody, a guy, who even an 18-year-old is fucking weird.
And just in mangas and animes in general, this is so common, but
that's what I'm saying.
Why is this a thing? Like, a common thing?
Listen, I think it might be... Okay, part of it is, of course, the cultural thing, right? But every culture in the world had this bullshit going on.
Yeah.
Like, of, like, young girls being...
Yeah, dating their teachers.
Not exactly teachers per se, but everyone who was like a lot older than them, like by 15 years, but however years, like it just always happened. And I think that maybe partially it is cultural, because for me, it was also normalized. Like when I was growing up, people were assuming like that I would date, like, guys who were considered to be my age.
Were how old?
Were 4 years older than me. Like my brother's friends were considered to be like future suitors, or like people who I would be dating.
Okay.
And it was like, he's like almost 5 years older than me. That was literally the norm.
Yeah.
Like people would be talking about it all the time. Adults.
Wow.
That was like, they're kind of like, this is dating somebody who's your age, basically.
Yeah.
The guy that was like, that I was on a date with when I was 15 was 19.
I know.
Actually, almost 20.
Growing up, probably the same. Like, that would be the norm. Like,
I don't think it's normal. And I wish somebody fucking told me. or not told me, but I wish adults in general weren't normalizing it. Because if one person tells you that it's not normal, it doesn't change shit.
Yeah.
It needs to be a cultural thing where you go, no, that's not very good for you. Like he's so much older than you are.
You're a child.
He's out of high school. You're still in like you're in last year of middle school.
Yeah.
Like this is not normal.
No,
he's in university and you're in last year of middle school. That's not supposed to be normal. But they just ignore it. And like I remember I told one of the women who I knew who was like close to my mom's age. She was like our acquaintance, kind of like our family friend or whatever.
Yeah.
She would just tell me, like, I came home crying because that guy like said something fucked up to me, and I told him like, that's it, we're not like you can get fucked, to be honest. And I came home, like at first I told him off, and then I came home and cried like crazy. Like,
fair enough, bro. You're just
like I was bawling my eyes out.
You're just acting strong, and then because
he literally like I came like wearing just a normal dress, but it was like a bodycon dress, and he told me that like I look like I should be like someone should be throwing money at me and stuff like that.
Pardon me?
Yeah, so I told him like, you can go fuck yourself, like I'm going home.
What the was it here or?
That was in Cyprus.
That was
yeah.
Dang.
That was that age where I was living on the island. And it was so weird because like I came home and I was bawling my eyes out, and that
it's just anger though.
Yeah, and that woman was like around at that moment because she was like there with her kid and everything.
Yeah.
And she just like started telling me about how like women need to like you need to like find someone who you can mold into a man that you want. And like
this is not our job.
She just exactly. And then she just kept on like saying things like you should just like forgive him, blah blah blah. And like I think that she was probably just really enamored by the fact that he was filthy rich, and I think so, but I was like, I don't give a fuck.
So he gets to tell you, oh wow.
Yeah, but then the thing is,
excuse.
Yeah, and also with her, it's just like she honestly just had this idea of like a woman needs to like you can make a man a CEO out of a maintenance, I guess, people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she basically was saying that like you can make a CEO out of a maintenance person. I was like, why would I make him that if I can do that for myself then?
Yeah.
If I can do it for somebody else,
and
why wouldn't I do it for myself?
Yeah, exactly.
And she was like, well, women they're not made to be like doing this hard work or whatever. And I was like, but I can make him into that, but I'm not made to do that hard work, even though I am doing it.
You're like, you're meant to do the hard work, but in the shadow.
Yeah.
Like, and they get the credit.
Yeah, and basically, like, just the way that everything was set up is, like, they would constantly normalize fucked up behavior and, like, try to brainwash me, basically. But I was just, like, so stubborn. I did not know the word feminism. I did not know anything about this stuff.
Yeah, you did not need
to
know.
I was just... I guess I found out later that I was a feminist this entire time, and that's why I was always angry.
There was a word, yeah.
Like, I basically found a word to describe... like why I was always pissed off at my father, at all the men I've met in my entire life, and why they were always like, they always seemed disrespectful to me, even when they technically weren't saying anything disrespectful in their mind.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like
in their mind, they were still disrespectful. It's just a different version of it.
You grow up with people finding excuses for any behavior a man can have. Yeah. But if you dare to open your mouth and just, put them back where they belong, then you are the one that's
they hated me.
You're emotional, you know, like it's all from you. You just
all of the people that I was like beefing with, all of my beefs were with adults beefing with me. Adults having a beef with a child. And me, like at some point around the age of 12, I realized, oh, this is weird that they are like having this whole altercation and they're like mad at me. But, like, they're not even disciplining me as much as they are just saying a bunch of bullshit and they just, like, they're literally beefing with me. They're having they basically see an actual enemy in me. And I'm like, and I at one time I like
because
realized
you're
that
questioning their beliefs, and they know. I think they know.
they
this
don't
is
like
not
that when I ask them a question, it makes them sound like they're
because
stupid.
they don't know what to say. Yeah, exactly.
Because they haven't thought about it. Because they haven't thought about it. They just do whatever it was told to them. So they were always like getting annoyed with me.
Yeah.
And when I became like old enough to understand that technically they're adults and they're supposed to be my guardians, especially when they were actually my guardians. Like, for example, the people that I lived with in Cyprus, like that family. Because I was like technically like on exchange there, right?
Yeah.
They were beefing with me at one point too. Like for 3 weeks, I wasn't talking to them at some point.
I believe that.
Yeah, because their daughter stole from me.
What?
Like she tried to use my credit card and then she told them that I was like being mean to her or something like that. And because they took her side even though she's like 18 and I'm 14 and I'm living alone in a foreign country where I don't speak the language.
And she was gonna use your money.
And she was gonna use my money. She used my credit card when I was in class, and my bank, like my Russian credit card.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the bank from Russia called me, and they were like, "There's like weird activity on your card, and someone is trying to use it, but they don't know the PIN number or whatever." And I come home, my card is there, outside of my wallet.
Yeah.
And of course, she was using it, trying to pay for something online with my money. And I'm alone in
the audacity.
A foreign country.
Yeah.
Like if you use my money, what am I gonna do?
Exactly.
How am I gonna live? There were so many stories from that time.
Yeah.
I swear to God, girl. But it just the atmosphere that adults create where they
make
straight
you question yourself when you know you're not doing anything wrong. This is the issue.
Yeah, and especially with men, especially in like in terms of romantic relationships, they collectively groom you to accept anything.
It's like they have these like basic sentences that they're gonna use when this happened, that happened, this happened, and you're like, come up with something that's gonna contradict them, and then that's when they get angry because they have nothing to answer back. Yeah,
and like for example, when someone is acting like an asshole to you, like for example, like a dude comes up and like lifts your skirt up or something like that, they would do that actually.
In the metro in Paris, like the amount of time, and you turn back and you're like, what the fuck? And like, the amount of time this happened, or just like touching you or whatever. Like I'm like, no. And then the adults, especially if it's a guy, like not just like a random stranger, but a guy like in your class or something like that, they have the audacity to say things like, well, there's a reason why he was able to do that. It's because either that you were wearing something, or they say that it's because you allow this kind of behavior. It's never their fault. It's always your fault.
Always.
Yeah, because you're the one that's creating this behavior.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I would always have this kind of like issue with dudes that are older than me who think that they have the right to pursue me. Even this fucking boss, guys. My last work.
I know.
My last job. Fucking dickhead, like a 50-year-old man literally thought I would be interested in him, and he was my boss.
Yeah.
And he was like, why would that be creepy to go after a 25-year-old?
And then he tried with your coworker.
He tried with my coworker, and he was like so straight up about it too, in terms of like telling her to bring her boyfriend over so he can tell him that he's not welcome.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Girl.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you quit every time there's something like that happening at your job, like something fucked up happening at your job, you're never gonna have a job. That's what the problem is. People are like, why wouldn't this person quit? And it's like, because there's no job where you would be safe from this type of behavior.
No one's having their backs when there's actually real issues happening, and no one's questioning it. They're just telling you you're wrong and you're inventing things and you're too emotional.
Even a couple of days ago, there was an SNL sketch.
Yeah.
About, do you know the whole situation with Try Guys?
No. Oh yeah, Try Guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So SNL made a sketch about it.
They did.
Yeah, and they made fun of the Try Guys, not of Ned.
And not Ned.
Not of Ned. The news anchor, basically, like it's kind of like back and forth between them.
Yeah.
And the news anchor is like, he kissed someone and didn't tell them, and they like upset about it. So they basically made it into this whole thing of like Ned basically kissing somebody, and then how much of losers the Try guys are to get upset about it. And it's like, you do understand he was her boss, right? That's the issue. It's not like, yes, he cheated and that's fucked up because he profited off of that and stuff.
It's just he built his entire brand with, about his wife.
So it is already fucked up. But the problem that was actually like the moral problem, the reason why it was such a big deal within the company and why they had to kick him out is because he fucking he hooked up with a subordinate.
Yeah.
He has the power in that relationship.
And people knew who she was because they recognized her.
Yeah, and usually it's just dismissed in terms of like, people just go, yeah, like she could have been feeling pressured or whatever, but they just kind of start coming up with excuses for Ned and being like, well, maybe they just like each other, maybe whatever. And it's like, okay, if they liked each other so much, could have fucking talked about it and not have a consensual workplace relationship, just not have any workplace relationship or whatever it is, you know, like. And of course the SNL is gonna make fun of that because SNL is known for being a hostile environment for women.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Like, of course you're gonna be making that joke. You're just telling on yourself.
Yeah. What a bunch of.
But also Ned has two friends on the writing team.
Oh, well,
from his Yale times.
There we go. It's just
that bitch. He just called him.
How much do you want to bet that he's gonna be included somehow with SNL, or like, you know, something's gonna happen? He's gonna be. You know,
I don't know about that because they got such a big backlash.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is the only time they've been relevant in like years.
Yeah.
So maybe they will take him just so they could have some like hate watchers.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but
I would not be surprised personally.
No, me neither, because SNL is like known for having this attitude of like, they're so amazing in this show. You have to be so grateful to be on this show or to write for this show that you have to be there the entire week, sleep on couches, eat like trash. Basically, they're so unorganized that their entire life is just a mess, like an entire mess. And they are proud of it. They think that this is like a cool thing. You know, like how Americans sometimes they're like, working till we break down, you know, like this kind of dumb bullshit. But then when you actually watch them work, they're the worst workers ever. They're so unorganized. Everything is all over the place. That's why they spend 24 hours working instead of 8 hours working. Like, that's the reason why this is happening, is because they're super unorganized.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that was pretty lame. Yeah, and the fact that I actually know about it, even though I don't really follow any sort of like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so normalized to the point that SNL felt emboldened to make the
audacity of these people.
Yeah, to be like, you know what? Yes, he turning a boss sleeping with his subordinate in a company that prides itself on being what is it? Progressive or whatever, right? They turned it into Try Guys being mad that he didn't tell them that he's been kissing someone. Literally, they said kiss. They did not even say hook up or like have sex with, because obviously they're fucked. Like it's not, like it's not just a little kiss. I
know. Yeah, it's not only the photo. Everybody.
It's been a year-long relationship behind everybody's back.
Just and casually pretending nothing was happening, saying my wife, like.
Yeah.
The guy literally built his brand on that. I
mean, he always had a cunt vibe about him.
Yeah.
But
just confirmed it.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to add about Sakura?
The outfits. I obviously have to mention that because
you made a video.
I think I made a video, like styling them like in real life or whatever. There's so many different types of outfits and whatever.
She has a different one for every single episode, like every single
card. That was probably such a pain in the ass to animate. Because they didn't have the stock footage to use. Like, usually Magic Girl shows have that.
I know. So respect.
Yeah. I wouldn't really remember which one is, like, my favorite or something like that. Because none of them are, like, something I would personally wear.
But I know every time I'm like, this is really cute. I don't think there's any...
It's very, like, cute specifically. Like, a very adorable type of... thing, which is nice, like, because it's a kid, you know.
Yeah, like she does look like a child. Like, it doesn't make her look something she's not.
Yes,
which
oh my
I
God,
really like.
Fuck. It's like the thing that I was talking about in Sailor Moon with Chibiusa's Guardians.
Yes.
They were supposed to be like 12. Okay, even if they were 14, because some people were like, Lisa, they're 14, not 12. It doesn't matter. They were definitely basically drawn as grown women and then shrunk. That's the problem. I guess this episode is gonna be after the Lolita episode.
Mm-hmm.
This channel has too many Japanese related episodes. It's like turning into that. We need to come up with something like 180.
Yeah.
Just so it's more balanced.
See, we still find relevant stuff that are not, like, we talk about the anime or whatever, but there's still, like, nowadays stuff that are relevant to the subjects.
Yeah, we just talked about Try Guys.
Like,
I don't know.
you know, like, somehow we find a link between, so...
Yeah, no, that's true. It's just, the thing is, like, I recently realized that, like, a few days ago, I was like, oh, wait. It's gonna be, like, a few episodes in fucking row.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening.
Yes, or watching, whatever you're doing.
We're back.
Leave any questions you have in the description. Or not description, Jesus Christ.
The comment section.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.